Collie Training Journal Day 237, Learning 64 Attack, Section 6, Tirsia Corto. Now, this is a little bit different section than, of course, Section 5, and I have to tell you, this morning was the most intimidating practice with the 64 attacks that I've had yet, because I'm not familiar with this particular combination of movements. It feels uncomfortable. It looks uncomfortable. And yet, Paul makes it look so simple and easy, which makes it feel even more intimidating. But I'm only feeling this because I'm not familiar with it and I don't know how to do it. I've never done it before. Of course, it's going to feel uncomfortable and it's going to feel like I don't know what I'm doing. It feels vulnerable. And it feels even more vulnerable when I know that I am going to be doing this with hundreds of other people watching what I'm doing, making my mistakes obvious and apparent. I don't even think that I'm doing Section 6 correctly at this point. But as I've mentioned before, this is the growing process, and growing can be very painful. Painful because it's uncomfortable. It makes us feel like we don't know what we're doing because, quite honestly, we don't. When it's something new, you don't know what you're doing. Today is the first time I've actually practiced Section 6. I've never gone over it before. And in the beginning, my first impression was, okay, I'm just going to do the first 2 moves of Section 6. And that felt really comfortable, even with the discomfort. My next thought was, well, that's kind of cheating yourself, kind of like yesterday, if you had only done Section 4 instead of Section 4 and 5. And as I thought about it more, and as I ran through it before my video practice, I started to feel a little bit more comfortable. And I'll be honest, I only went through this, I walked through Section 6 3 or 4 times before actually recording it. So once I started recording it here, what you can see, I hadn't even done it with the entire 64 form sections that I know. I simply went out on a limb, gathered as much courage as I possibly could, and just said, okay, I'm gonna do it. And I did it. It looks sloppy. It doesn't look clean. And it looks like I don't know what I'm doing. And that's okay. This is part of the growth process. In order to get better at something, in order to do something you've never done before, it feels sloppy and messy. And that is one of the biggest signs that you're making progress. You're trying, you're pushing yourself past that discomfort. As soon as you feel discomfort, smile and express gratitude for the courage that you're taking just to try something new, to push yourself beyond what you thought was even possible. Something else that I discovered and learned about myself this morning is that the courage that I've gained and the confidence that I've gained through my collie practice has magnified exponentially. In talking with my husband about something from last night, he made the comment that I've completely changed over the last year. Part of this was leaving a federal job that it didn't feel good. I knew that the work I was doing was good, and I knew that I was making a positive contribution, but the work didn't feel good. The job title that I had felt amazing, but the expectations felt icky and shameful. And since stepping out of that position, there have been more unknowns that I have experienced over the last 12 months than maybe I've experienced my entire life. And it's been really, really uncomfortable. And every single day I face rejection. I face something hard. I face something that's uncomfortable. Kali is a physical way for me to show that I can break those boundaries, that I can move past what I ever thought was possible, and that I have the skill, the mindset, the courage, the confidence to be vulnerable enough to move forward and make progress. This is not an easy feat, but I've learned to teach myself that being uncomfortable with something that could potentially move me forward in powerful ways is worth my time and my energy to figure out. And as I do this in this one isolated area with Kali, it overlaps into every other aspect of my life. I push myself more spiritually. I push myself more in what I bring into my body, physically, mentally, emotionally, the food I eat, the thoughts I think, the conversations I have, the energy that I allow myself to be in. I'm a very physical person. I must be active. And I've been this way since I was a very young child. Since the moment I could walk, I've spent time outside in nature, grounding, listening, being aware of what's going on around me. And so the combination of physically doing something, Kali, and being outside while I practice reinforces this strength and grounding that naturally is part of me. And as I experience the discomfort of the practices and the movements and learning new things, I find that it pushes me forward, not holds me back. And this discomfort that I feel with what I'm doing, both in Kali and in my life and in, being more aware physically of what I'm eating and consuming, has benefited me far more than I ever could have thought possible. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you in the next episode. Please like, subscribe, and share so you don't miss out on any. We'll see you next time.